This morning we have our Momtrepreneur Courtney Johnson here to tell us about a quick and easy meal for those days where you need to make a quick and easy meal. How are you doing today, Courtney?
I'm great. So the premise was, and this worked well for me because I'm getting into garden mode. My idea was, you know, my grandma sometimes would make these things called company buns, or they would call them spam buns. They were really popular when people would play bridge, or we would pack them up to go to camp. And I did make a little bit of change. I went with just regular ham, so if you want to put that in the bowl.
Okay.
But these are really nice because you just heat them up in foil, and they're kind of a little, kind of like a walking taco sort of situation, where these are going to bake inside their own individual little foil packet. And then you can, this was my grandma's roaster, so I don't even know how old that is. That was a wedding gift, and I got it with the house.
Wow.
And so she would fill that full with all these buns, and they would stay nice and warm. She would wrap that in a towel, and we would take it to camp. And this was popular to just stick it on the table when people were playing cards.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of making a little bit of a healthier version of it. So this is Velveeta cheese, so if you want to dump that in there.
Alrighty.
And then to make things fast for TV purposes, we did some cutting off camera.
Yes. It's just a good little prep.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes, you know, you get a message like, oh, well, oh, I forgot to tell you, we've got this going on, or you get invited to something last minute. This is great. You don't have to do any cooking. It's going to stay warm. That can go in there.
Alrighty. I chopped my first pepper today, by the way.
Yes. We're all doing new things.
Yes.
So then what we're going to do, and this is chili sauce, and this just kind of gives it a really good tang. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. Actually, I'm just going to do the whole bottle. Yeah, that looks about right.
Alrighty.
And then you're going to fold that together. So I have a spoon here for you for that. And then we are going to start heating this up. We're going to go air fry. And then one of the other things we're going to do while she's doing that is, you know, back in the 50s, Jell-O was really popular. And I'm not sure if this recipe is necessarily from that time, but I really, this has been a quick go-to for me. So this is just a package of vanilla Jell-O pudding. And then this is a well-drained can of mandarin oranges that's going in here. And then what you do, now ordinarily at home, I may, you know, and my hands are nice and clean. So ordinarily, you know, typically I try to wear gloves if the food is going to be like not heated, but for TV here. So this is just ginger snaps, and I break these up in here, and you just get all these little cookies and things like that. I'll show you what it's like when we're done. And it kind of just makes kind of like a very, I don't know, we'll call it a very rustic trifle.
Yeah.
But you get the ginger and the orange, and honestly, like, I mean, if you're gonna have this kind of food, the ginger and the orange kind of pairs nice with ham. So yeah, it's a little processed for sure, but it's a nice quick meal if you have to run and go somewhere. If you maybe just want to be like, hey, you know, we got to go to the soccer field early, let's do this, you know, and it's a nice little thing. They make such nice little bowls now. So if you want, you can fold that, and I can start filling these buns so you know how to do that.
Okay.
So if you want to just fold,
Yep.
Get that incorporated. I'll put that right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these Reynolds wrap for you.
Ahead.
So these are super convenient for this type of situation. You know, I'm sure that you could do some steakums, or if you had leftover steak, and you could put some caramelized onion in the cheese, do the same concept, and you would have like a little steak and cheese situation.
Yeah.
Bake them in there.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Be a good way to incorporate some leftovers, which I always like to do. Not waste those. So then what, my grandma would use these really tall domed buns, and I don't know what they were called. And she would scoop out a little bit of the filling. I'm not going to do that. I got pretzel buns, which I think my grandma would have loved. I don't think those were really a thing when she was around. Yeah.
You can't go wrong with a pretzel bun.
No, you can't. And yeah, I feel like here again, it's a nice pairing. Like, we're not being gourmet here, but So I'm just gonna put some scoops of that in there. And these are a little messy. These are a little bit like a sloppy Joe. And then you're just gonna tuck it in. And so this is what you do. You get a whole bunch of these, and typically my grandma would fill the roasting pan with these and just bake them in the oven till they were heated through. And they just kind of get a little crusty on the outside, and they're all gooey, and you can just kind of hold the foil.
Yeah.
Everything's contained, so that's nice. So now what we're gonna do with this, before we have some magical TV magic, is we're just going to, I'm gonna let you take the spatula there and just scoop that in there.
Okay.
And just fold that.
Oh, I love Cool Whip.
I'm not a Cool Whip girl.
Really?
I mean, I'll eat it, but my husband would eat it like ice cream.
Oh yeah, it's
Totally.
I could eat this whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And now we are back with our delicious meal. Let's pull her out of the air fryer.
Yes, okay. All right, so we did a little check on this one. So these should be about ready.
Excellent. And they smell
Here's
good.
your
They smell warm.
Yes, here's your little nice ooey gooey spam bun.
Yes.
And then I'll get you a scoop of this ginger orange dessert, this mousse. Probably a little heavy on the milk.
That's okay. It all tastes the same, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I took a little ham chunk and it was good.
All right.
So let's see. I'm gonna wrap it up just like how you're supposed to eat it.
Do you want a paper towel to put around it?
I might just stand over
Yep,
and take a quick bite.
Yeah, they're like a sloppy Joe kind of feel.
Yeah. I taste the cheese, I taste the ham. Very good.
Good.
This is a good meal.
Yeah.
So just eat it on the go with the foil. I'll let it cool down just a little bit before I eat the rest of it. And now for dessert. All right.
Probably your nieces might even like that.
They would. And that is definitely something I could eat that whole bowl of.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we will
Yes.
have that whole recipe on our website, myupnow.com. Courtney, thank you again for sharing your talents with us and
You're
showing us
welcome.
another great recipe.
All right, thank you.
Yes, and we'll be back with more My UP Mornings after the break.